Bit of a cloudy afternoon. It feels like it's almost like nighttime, but no, it's just really cloudy today. Welcome to the first Criterion Collection Blu-ray unboxing video of 2021. And throughout last year, I had started doing the collections almost a year, because it would be like around the end of March when I first purchased my first set and wouldn't be arrived until the beginning of April. But now, after going through a lot of the 2010s, 2000s, and 90s movies that have been released on the Criterion Collection on Blu-ray, we're going to the realms of the 1980s, except for one movie, because there is one film from this past decade that was released this month, and you might know what it is, because it was just released like last week. So, with that being said, let's start this up with our first one. Now, I will mention, of course, for those who don't follow my Criterion Blu-rays, I usually would watch any of the ones that did got an Oscar nomination, or ones that, and the ones specifically that potentially got a nomination. I thought this was an Oscar-nominated movie, because I put it on the Oscar-nominated list, but it's not. But it is still a potential one, because it has a well-known director that I actually have in the Criterion Collection of two of his films. And this is Spy Number 156 from 1986 by Jim Jarmusch, Down by Law. This is, of course, his black and white independent prison movie that stars Tom Watts, John Lurie, and Roberto Benigni. And, of course, I really did not know what this was going to be about, but it is kind of also a prison, since it is a prison movie, it can also be, of course, a prison escape movie. And it's about basically these three, incarcerated men who escape, of course, the jail, and they have unique conversations, because they all came from three different elements. One was, and they were all, framed for something, because, of course, one was a disc jockey, one was, a pimp, and the other is, of course, an Italian tourist. And they all end up getting in the same cell together, and they try to find, not also to have a good friendship, but also find ways to escape and also go through their route. So, obviously, I really did have a fun time watching this movie, especially, not just the relationship that all three of these characters had, but the journey they had when they escaped from the movie. And, of course, Jim Jarmusch, not surprised I have another film of his in the collection. I have, of course, Night on Earth, which is a movie that Roberto Benigni was in. And, of course, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, which was recently released in the Criterion this past November. So, yeah, I thought it was an Oscar-nominated movie when I was doing my research. I thought it was, original screenplay or something, but no. Because it could have been potentially, because it does, has some notable, it has obviously a well-known director, but it was, entered into the Cannes Film Festival, and that was basically it. But definitely a really great escape movie, without a doubt. The next movie is a fantasy classic. And when I said fantasy, you might know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Criterion Collection. And this is Spy Number 949 from 1987 by Rob Reiner, The Princess Bride. This has, of course, been considered a big fantasy classic for many people throughout the entertainment industry. And it is one of the most unique Blu-rays here in the Criterion Collection, because, as you can see, oh man, it actually does feel like it. If I could get this, it's a little bit hard to unbox this one, because very carefully. There we go. It basically, as you can tell, it actually looks like an actual book. And actually does feel like one as well. It really does. And, it comes with, I see, it's the sticker thing that they usually put on in the back, like some of the Wes Anderson movies, so, yeah, the sticky tack. I would usually want to take this off very carefully because I'm going to put this in the Blu-ray later. As you wish. That's what it says in the back. So, I really knew that I was kind of coming into a unique film. And when I was watching the film, I didn't realize, like, when I went to the end credits, I did not know Robin Wright was in this. And I did not know he was in this. Mandy Patinkin, Wallace Shawn, Billy Crystal. I did not know they were in this movie until I saw this, because I had no familiar with the source, even though it is based on, obviously, the famous romance novel. And it's very odd that it actually goes, like, it's basically told by a grandfather telling his grandson on a sick day. So, whoa, oh my gosh, the booklet is actually in the book? Wow. That is very unique, and it is actually stapled to there, so, I think, unless I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do not want to go too far in that, so, yeah, because I thought there was something gold in there, unique or something, but no, it's just, like, the book is actually in there, so I'll put that in there, the back cover as well, so. May look like a book, a very unique, interesting story, like, I did not know, of course, that, the Princess, Buttercup, that's her name, did not realize that her laundry love Wesley was the Man in Black, so, yeah, I didn't realize that, and, like, I kind of almost didn't realize that until, like, just, like, nearing when his revealment was going to be coming, and it's just such a unique, interesting, adventurous film. I saw one user, like, a community YouTube channel, of course, called Podcast Network, where one of their movie correspondent of the channel did a versus on this film and the first Shrek, and I was a bit worried that it was going to give me a lot of Shrek vibes, but I don't know what the similarity is, but I will be rewatching the first Shrek when I do the when I go to the Oscars animated reviews, when I talk about Puss in Boots, when I'm going to be re-watching the first 3 Shrek movies and watching Forever After for the first time, when I get to that year after 2010. So, yeah, man, it's like, yeah, definitely one of the most unique ones, because it does feel like a book, but it's actually a Blu-ray case, so way to go, Criterion, making a unique design, as you wish. Now we come into the recent released film on the Criterion Collection, and the 4th Netflix movie to be released on the collection that I think no one wasn't expecting to be on this, because it really did not state it originally when Netflix announced this. But this is, of course, Spy Number 1062 from 2019, Rolling Thunder Avenue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Now, I am familiar, of course, with Bob Dylan. I think the first thing I can think of easily would be We Are the World, the famous Michael Jackson song, of course. And now, with a little bit more of a research, and I know who, basically, he's a big influence in folk music, if that's the right media. Correct me if I'm wrong. But now going through this documentary, and this is basically going through his Rolling Thunder concert tour. So I was not really sure what to expect when I was coming to this, even though I knew for a fact this was a Bob Dylan documentary. Oh, man, this is a big booklet, I must say. I was wondering, why this was so big. Is there, a lot of things in here? But no, it's just this big booklet. So, yeah. So, as you can see, right now, I have, of course, both Martin Scorsese Netflix movies on this collection. So, yeah, the only film that I'm still kind of curious about right at the moment, and from a Scorsese film that is in the collection, other than his short films or his World Cinema Project, is, of course, The Last Temptation of the Christ. So, I don't know if that will be in it or not, but I'll have to wait and see when I see that. Yeah, it's definitely had a good time with this. It is a little bit long. It's over, where's the back of this? 142 minutes. But the thing is, more details in the back. But, of course, if it is a Netflix movie, and if you are a person that wants to own physical copy Blu-rays, if I could get this, Jeez, this is... There we go. Man. Yeah, you need to get a physical copy of Netflix movies, and this is the only way you can do it. And if you want to, like The Irishman, Marriage Story, and Roma, you can definitely do this. Right now, as of this recording, there has not been another announcement of what will be the next Netflix film. It didn't say anything on the April or March lineups, or even the February lineups. They're still questioning about Atlantics and American Factory, but, are there any going to be other Netflix documentaries, or even, others like Klaus, I Lost My Body, Dolomite Is My Name, The Two Popes. We'll have to wait and see what will be the next Netflix film on the line. So, yeah, kind of an unexpected choice from Netflix to release this after The Irishman, but definitely another great documentary to add in the Criterion Collection. Now we come into a director that is kind of been well known in the Criterion Collection, but I have not got a film from his in my collection. And finally, I have one. And that is Spy Number 977 from 1980, also from 1986. And that is from David Lynch, Blue Velvet. And I just love the cover because I am a blue person. But here's the thing when it came to David Lynch. Now, I did watch Mulholland Drive a while back, and honestly, I was very confused with the movie. I really did not know, I get the story, but it's just, it was a bit of a confusing of how it was executed. And I'm kind of curious why he got the director nomination for that. Blue Velvet, on the other hand, did got a Best Director nomination. And by the way, The Princess Bride did got nominated for Original Song. I forgot to mention that, but, oh yeah, the apartment number. So, Blue Velvet is, of course, a big mystery film. And it obviously, Kyle MacLachlan, of course, as this young man who is really trying to investigate to help this older woman, played by Isabella Rossellini, to figure out this, who's really, torturing her or something like that. I don't want to give much away because of spoiler territory. And I just gotta say, my gosh, Laura Dern is so attractive when she was young. Oh, man, that was, a young Laura Dern, and, it's so good. And definitely a very unique one. I won't show probably the inside of it, but it's a little bit sexually, and it's not something appealing for audiences, because, yeah, this is rated R, so, yeah, it is a rated R movie, so that's not surprising. But this film did got a director nomination, and I honestly can understand why he got this for this film. Definitely a very unique mystery, and with the unexpected twist that happened, oh my gosh. Oh boy, and the relationship between Jeffrey and Dorothy, and of course Jeffrey and Sandy as well. And wow, and just as a reflection alone, even though of course I have the lights on, but I just love the blueness, and it is definitely a Blue Velvet for me. And finally, for this episode, we do have a movie not in the English language, but this is actually a movie from a country that I have not gotten out of the Criterion Collection, and that is Japan. It's not Seven Samurai, people. That will be a while until I'll get to watch that. But this one is, of course, since we're in the 80s, we're obviously going into 1980, which is Spy Number 267 by Akira Kurosawa, Kagemusha, The Shadow Warrior. This is, of course, film won the Palme d'Or at the 1980s Cannes Film Festival, and of course, it was nominated at the Oscars for Best International Film and Best Production Design, which, of course, back then they were called Foreign Language Film and Art Direction and Set Decoration. And this is, of course, basically of the true story of the famous Taki Shingagi, who portrayed as the Shadow Warrior after the Shadow Warrior has died, and the rest of the people in that knew his death, that found his lookalike, would be taking over the position as the Shadow Warrior until they had the perfect timing of when they would officially announce the death of the real Shadow Warrior. And it is a very, oh man, art concept. Wow. A very unique feature film. Definitely so unique. Just like, I can understand like the setting, but also the characters that are all into this, whether they portrayed him or not. I really had a great time with this, and definitely a unique trying to do the, and I can't believe this was actually a true event. I can't believe it actually did happen. And that kind of ends up my first Criterion Blu-ray collection of my first one for 2021. So if you have any 5 of these movies, you can hit that subscribe button and comment down below if you have seen any of these 5s, mainly specifically, of course, this movie. All the movies are not really for all audiences. I forgot what The Princess Bride might be the safest one because it's a PG rated film. All the others are like, I can't really, like, R rated or like PG-13, I'm guessing, because Blue Velvet and The Princess Diaries are the only ones that can see their ratings, because all the others are like independent films. But let's see how the 80s will continue for me for the next few months, and of course preparing to see what new releases for this year that I will be getting.